Welcome to Cover Calypso, where I force my co-recappers, Raven and Wing, to judge a book by its cover. This week we're on Sweet Valley High, number 22, Too Much in Love.
Oh my god, that is like a Ken doll that's been set on fire.
The cover
No, after you go.
The cover is incredibly pale bluish with heavy purple text, and the models are a white blonde male with no facial expression at all. It's quite alarming. He is wearing a white hoodie that is utterly pristine, and a 45-year-old woman is leaning against his chest, staring into the middle distance with the dead-eyed stare of a serial killer. She is wearing an incredibly large and fluffy blue jumper. What is up with this? Also, I don't think she is actually 45, but as someone who is 42, I think she looks 45. I think they're probably meant to be high schoolers.
The 80s equivalent of the 80s 45-year-old look, that's what she definitely has. He honestly looks like a Ken doll that has been burnt, but for a white stripe down the side of his face that cuts through very pink flush on his cheek. Honestly, besides the being burnt part, he kind of looks like he was wearing something stupid and then fell asleep in the sun and burned like that. And I can't with this. I just can't.
I mean, that might be a problem with the book, because as I've said, my copy is incredibly pale, so it could be a highlight, low light printing issue rather than the actual intent of the artist. I'm just going to explain that just in case it sounds like we're throwing hideous shade at the artist.
No.
I mean, hideous shade is a pretty good way of describing it, to be honest.
Nice. I feel like we don't give one single flying fuck about the artist intent when we do cover Calypso, but fair point on that. The woman sort of looks like she's listening to see if he has a heartbeat, and since he's a fucking Ken doll, he has no heartbeat whatsoever. She should be a little bit terrified right now.
She kind of looks like my mom.
Ooh. Is she wearing a pink watch? Is that what that thing is?
Yeah, I think it's one of those great big fat watches
Swatch
that were super big in the 80s in both sense of being popular and oversized.
From the smug expression, I would want to call him Bruce fucking Patman, but Bruce isn't a blonde. And from the blonde, I would call him Stephen Wakefield, but Stephen also isn't a blonde. It's only the women in the Wakefield family who are blonde. So I don't know.
Hi, this is Future Dove, just checking in to say, any minute now, I tell them that Ken Matthews is on the front cover. It's not, it's Bill Chase. So, apologies. This entire episode is now going entirely wrong.
You've said his name about 6 times in this conversation already.
In, this conversation?
Yes.
Holy shit, have I?
Yep.
Holy shit, is that Ken Matthews?
Yes.
Oh my god!
That's Ken. How tall is that woman then? Ken Matthews is a midget?
No, not
he's
in high
always
school.
described as tall in high school.
Yeah, he hit a growth spurt apparently at around 14.
Ken Matthews.
Holy shit.
Okay, so what do we think this story is actually about?
Is that Amy Sutton then? Is Amy back to claim what's hers?
Amy's blonde.
But no,
Well...
Amy was blonde in middle school. Who knows what she's like now? She doesn't exist in Sweet Valley High yet.
Okay, but remember that Raven always refers to her as a lank-haired spunk waffle?
That is very true.
Well,
That hair is not lank.
well, that's fair.
It's curly.
However, she could have got a
voluminous.
perm. Perms were big.
I don't think you can perm that hair.
Yes, you can.
I have a friend with super straight hair. She had a perm. It dropped out by the time she got home.
I'm glad that you obviously recalled the whole Amy Sutton as a lank-haired spunk waffle motif that went through our twins, and I'm glad that you're actually referencing it as though it's canon.
It's our canon.
Yeah, I'll take it. In all seriousness, I think this is forbidden love between two people, and I think it's Ken, and I actually think it is someone too old for him. I think it is someone's mum, or one of the teachers, or something, because she does look 45. And yes, we joke that all of the girls on the covers of these books look old, but she looks actually designed old, if you know what I mean. So that's what I seriously think it is. I think it is, now that I know that it's Ken Matthews. To me, it was just, I was going to say Aaron Dallas, or one of the boys who we don't speak too much. We haven't really seen much in the series so far, in love with someone who is wholly inappropriate.
I was going to say, I'm not even sure that that's a woman. I think it might be, like we talked about before we started recording, Megan. I'm thinking this is some sort of AI doll. Like, it is not human. There is something very uncanny about this. That is not a human expression. Like, its eyes bore into you. It is going to fuck your shit up. It is going on a killing spree. It is too much in love with the first thing it saw, which was Ken Matthews, and it has gone on a killing spree. And Ken's kind of there, all smug, going, yeah, my robot just killed all of Sweet Valley High. Big messer, you're next.
You know, that is fitting since he kind of looks like a Ken doll. I would say I like Raven's theory a lot, in part because you're right. She does kind of look like she's designed to look older, whereas the Ken image also doesn't look like a teenager, but it kind of looks like he's meant to be considered a teenager. It doesn't necessarily look like that with her, but also it's been a long time since we got to use our sketchy student-teacher relationship tag, and I am looking forward to using it again. So there we go. I agree with Raven on this.
I'm gonna say another thing that another sort of vibe that I've got from this is, I mean, what the hell's Ken wearing? It makes him look like a cult leader. It's almost as if he's stood there, because he looks quite sort of arrogant. He's sort of looking down, his eyes are sort of half closed. And she, while Dove says that she looks murderous and serial killer like, she could also look brainwashed and compliant in that picture, as if she's just about to drink the Kool-Aid and this is the final hug.
Well, maybe he has drunk the Kool-Aid and she's listening for a heartbeat.
Maybe so.
So, I know we don't often reference other books. However, Ken recently, as of the time we're recording this, not by the time it's posted, but recently lost an election to Bruce fucking Patman. Therefore, he has started his own cult and is seducing older women and bringing them in so he can take their money so he can then be richer than the Patmans. That's my theory.
Wing, don't blow your load. There is literally a book called Kidnapped by the Cult.
Oh, fantastic.
That is different. This is him creating a cult. That is clearly someone being forced to go with the cult. And also, having grown up in a church cult, I'm looking forward to that one.
Okay, so basically, I can't even recap all of our thoughts. Basically, it's a sea of badness. We've got cults, we've got a Mrs. Robinson, and we've got a Megan spin-off.
Love it.
I don't even want us to take a wild stab at what it might be, because I want it to be anything that we've suggested, because anything that isn't that is just going to be really boring.
It's true.
So let's wrap this up without even speculating what it might actually be, and just keep our fingers crossed. Okay, thank you for listening. We'll see you next week for Cover Calypso.